But all right. So let me give a disclaimer here and saying that I this is something that's relative, but I don't necessarily want to talk about. But we run a podcast, so
We are at the service of the people.
yeah, I don't. Let me preface this by saying I don't care to if this gets used
Indulge.
or not, but I think it's important to have the conversation. Um, so Tekashi 69, he's out of jail now, and
Yerp.
did it happen again?
What happened again?
You hear me?
No, I hear you.
Oh, that's what I was like. I thought I went out.
Oh
Um,
no.
so 69 got out of jail. Apparently, since getting out of jail, 69 shot a music video,
Yep.
and he went on IG Live and broke an IG Live record. Had 2 million people watching him.
Wow. Really? 2 mil all
Two
at
million people
once?
watched him talk on IG Live about what happened. Um,
Crazy.
and from what I gathered from it, um, he basically was saying he apologized for snitching. One, apologized. But then he also said, like, you guys talk about this street code about being, you know, loyal, but he's like, where were y'all? Where was his loyalty when y'all were like robbing me for millions behind my back? Where was his loyalty where, y'all were sleeping with my baby mom? Where was his loyalty when y'all kidnapped me and beat me up? Where was his loyalty when y'all were plotting to kidnap my mom? Where was his loyalty when y'all gonna kill me?
Yeah, that's what I heard. I was talking to my sister about it. Yeah. Yeah, man. The people that's apparently from what I found out, the people he snitched out on, the people he ratted out, um, was the same people that was apparently stealing money from him, um, threatened him, or like even when he tried to cut him off. And apparently, so what happened from what I heard is he had that interview on Breakfast Club. Um, People were stealing money from him. He tried to cut him off, and what happened was they threatened him and then they threatened him and his mom, and threatened to go after his mom. He put a hit out on those people, and that escalated to court later on. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna snitch on these people that come out, threaten me, steal from me, and threaten my family, the people I love or people I care about. So
Let me
yeah,
preface my take on this.
yep,
I understand the want for revenge. I understand,
such a
feeling like
such a lust for revenge.
I
Such a
understand,
lust
you
for
know,
revenge.
the feeling of betrayal and then feeling like
Uh,
people are disloyal, so they're not being loyal to them. The caveat here is when you enter into that world of like street mentality, whether you claim you are part of it or not, like you don't involve the police into it. Like no matter how bad things get, you went around, on
no, I'm gonna stop. I'm just trying to.
on, on this whole like suck my dick tour, at the behest of these people protecting you, and now that they're against you, you know, the thing you think to get back at them is to, snitch on them. If you're going to involve yourself in street life, you need to handle it the street way. So
If your
like,
platform was established, this is Myra to my sister. If his platform, because I was like, do what you got to do to protect your own, your family, whatever. If it to whatever degree you feel, but just know that everything you everything you do and that you've done, there's a consequence to it, whether it's good or bad. And I think, especially when you establish or you set your platform on the back of basically being from the streets, on the back of just gangster rap in general. If you build your platform on that and made money off of it and made success, and I'm like, you rap, you do you preach what you rap, or you rap what you preach? At the end of the day, it's like it comes hand in hand. Like you're like all of a sudden you're not a fan of like that life, but I mean you rap about that life. I mean I get
exactly.
it. You rap about that life. So, there's rules to the engagement. There's rules to the engagement, and I mean, that's what you signed up for. That's what you rap about.
Yeah, and I mean he latched onto the gang culture and that kind of music because that was popular. That was going to make him sell. And
It did. He made it
yeah.
did.
So I mean like even that like,
So
you
you want to
know,
make money off of it, but then when it really came down to it, you were like, oh nah, and I'm like, well, I guess you just weren't being transparent, my guy. That's it.
yeah, if you were just like, yo, from rip doing your music thing, these maybe you hired them for protection or whatever, but the whole time you're like, hey, I'm not a street dude, whatever, and that's your image, maybe it'd be a bit more acceptable. But you going around on a 10
Maybe.
by Gangsta world tour, you pretty much banned from everywhere because of your mouth, and then you're the super gangster until you get locked up.
So you get locked up. Yeah, until you get locked up. It's until he got locked up. And yeah, facts. And then and I think that, we could transition this however we want. Um
I'm not.
it
I'm not going to say people like, if you're just a regular citizen and like you're not involved in street activity, then by all means, like if you feel the need to call the police about stuff and absolve yourself of anything that you're not involved in, by all means. But that's not snitching. Snitching is when like you and I are locked or facing jail time, and to give myself a shorter sentence, I rat on you. I say everything about you to give them information to help convict you, and that lessens my sentence.
this is my sentence. Even though we went into this in the very beginning and we made this an agreement that, if this is the life we're gonna live, like, we gotta have each other's back. That is the only way this life works. And that also includes, even if you get caught, I'm not saying it from expertise or experience, but I mean, this is what the culture is basically based around, is the fact that when you go into league with anyone with the streets, like, what's said and done on the streets stays on the streets. It does not. It doesn't. You just don't let it rip to
Yeah,
the
like
feds. That's it.
even
That's
even
street code. That's it. It's not me. It's the streets.
even like illegal activity has a
Right.
certain moral compass that they'll go by. A lot of
Yeah.
times like gangsters won't involve women or children and stuff like that.
Right.
And then like there is honor among thieves where it's just like, there's things low that are low even to people that do illegal activities, however you view them.
Yep.
This situation where like he, snitched and stuff like that, that's low. Like while I don't think he should have been involved in that stuff in the first place, once you involve yourself in that world, there's a way that you take care of things. That's not the way that you do it
That
in
is
the
not the
world.
way you take care of things. That only makes things, from what we could say, just from um just from being observers of the streets. For being an observer of the streets, it is not. It never ends well, or it doesn't end well. It just won't. I'm not saying it won't, but it's just like, you just put yourself in a very difficult position, and I think that's for you and other people around you. Which is, I hope that was something he considered. I mean, this is not about to go deep into the fact about him snitching, but I think the fact of the matter is, he gets out and he drops music. The first thing he does is drop music, and it goes on YouTube, and it's the number one trending video on YouTube because it gets 34 million views in 21 hours.
The
It
problem
makes
with
you
that,
question, like, what? How do people look at hip hop now? Like, this, you just,
this is all entertainment, bro. Like
yeah,
you have to understand where like, you know, there was a point in time many years ago where ghostwriting was completely shunned. And, if we found out somebody was ghostwriting, like their career was done. Um, you know, we got people like Drake accused of ghostwriting that have prosperous careers. We have people like Rick Ross who were proven to be correctional officers that have prosperous careers after that. Like people don't care anymore. If you're entertaining, you're entertaining. They don't care about where you came from. They don't care about what you did in the past. If you're entertaining in the moment, That's all that matters. He will still have a successful music career, bar from anything happening to him, because at the end of the day, people don't care. It's the same reason why, like, remember when H&M had that like thing when the kid was wearing the coolest monkey in the jungle hoodie, and everybody was mad for 2 weeks, and then they went right back to buying H&M. Like we
Yeah,
have
I wasn't one of them niggas though, but yeah, I remember that. I do remember
exactly,
that.
and we have such a
Not
short
me though.
attention span
Mhm.
where like so much news and stuff is happening because of the internet, where stuff like that, which like may be important, just goes under the radar because we're just getting hit with so much other things.
And
Like
I just like
even
to point out, we always use that H&M example. It feels like it never fails to come up in some episode. Like we're
bro,
like
and I
H&M, we remember.
yeah, we didn't forget.
we,
I don't shop at H&M.
me neither. Nah, I haven't shopped H&M in a grip, and I
Nah,
already stopped shopping even after before
yeah.
that whole ass ad came out, and I
Now
was
if Primark
like,
came out with something like that,
what?
that'd be tough because like
Oh, that's a breakup right there. That's an emotional one.
but the point being, it's like
Yeesh.
we don't care enough about like stuff like even these murder hornets and stuff right now, right? That was a big deal for 2 days. Nobody cares now.
I don't know, man. I see Wops now, and I'm like, if you come closer to me and you're the size of my thumb, bro, yo, I that's concern. I was just like, it's just it just can't. Like if like I don't even know. We got a meteor too. I don't even see the news. There's like a meteorite that may pass by and yo, bro. Trust me, it just adds on. I don't know if it's just people can't handle it anymore. People's like, let me deal with what I can deal with. I could deal with Corona. I
Yo,
can't
people
deal
don't.
with murder hornets. I can't deal with a meteorite, but I could deal with Corona. I could wash my hands. I could wash my hands. I could wear a face mask, but I can't deal with no murder hornets or a meteorite, especially
Yo,
when they're both coming somewhat at the same time.
well, and the thing is too, like back to the 6ix9ine, the greater point of 6ix9ine, it's like his
Facts.
target audience doesn't care.
Yeah.
His
Same. My
target
sister said
audience,
the same thing. Damn
they
it,
don't
man.
care if he was in jail and snitched.
They
Like
don't care. No one cares about snitching no more.
they don't. Like
Shit.
this generation doesn't. Like th- like they see it as just like, all right, well, like yeah, they deserved it. Like I mean, you do something wrong, you do deserve the consequences of it. But he also deserved his consequences too. And like him snitching on his like Cody's doesn't that's not an excuse to snitch. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Especially, nah, nah. I'm not gonna say anything else new. Just I think I already just my point.
Yeah,
But I
it's
will
like
say,
it's
man,
sad 'cause, like as a people, as a population, we don't care. He's gonna put out more music. He might have a number 1 album. Like there are people that are going to care. I'm not saying like no one cares. Like people
50
do,
cares.
but in
50
general,
cares.
well,
Meek
yeah.
cares. Young
But
Thug. Who else was it? Was it Young Thug or Push? Who else? They have a gripe against this little Tekashi. Yeah,
I'm
it's
sure a
just
lot of people
the
do.
smaller, the minority cares. The minority cares because to them, this is the life they grew up in. This is the life that it made them who they are, but it also put them in the positions they are now, which is successful. So I think people they pay their respect to the game for what it actually done for them and what it because the fact of the matter is it was like there's people still in it and they're not like in Hollywood. There's people who still doing that to get by like they were. They just made song. They were able just to put it, made songs about it, and then made hits. But they're not gonna be like, yo, like my career is made from my telling of the streets. But I can't disrespect the streets since it's what put me here. Like that lifestyle was what me narrating that lifestyle was what put me here.
The
And then
other
to
thing
go
too,
against it,
like
I
to
just don't
be
feel
com-
right on me.
to be completely transparent, like I don't know how much of a problem Meek should vocalize that he has a problem with because like I love Ross to death, but even he was lying about his past for the longest, and then it came out. But we still like Ross. Not that I equate being a CEO to snitching, but
Mm.
um, I also think that a lot of people aren't being honest in the fact of what they would do if they're in this situation. It's the cool thing to do to say, "Nah, I'm just going to take my licks and take whatever they give me." But if they're trying to hit you with 50 years, you start thinking about You
You think
start to,
hard,
and then like him, you're like, well, they did sleep with my baby mom, and they did steal millions from me, and they did do. So I
right?
understand why. It's just I also don't agree with it. I get why completely. You
I
know
get
what? Like
why.
that was the best way you saw to retaliate against these people that threatened you, stole money from you, beat you up. Like I get it. I just don't condone it.
So I mean, at the end of the day, whether he snitched or not, would it have stopped them coming after him? Probably
No,
not.
because what he said too is like like these people were disloyal to me on the outside. Imagine what they would do to me on the inside. You know what I mean? Like, when they're
If they were all in,
yeah, like he's probably would have died in jail maybe or something. You know what I mean? Like,
that's what. So it's like take the lesser hit. Snitch, still they have them still. They're gonna come after you, but at least they're in jail. They can't get to you.
so
Or
like in
don't
that,
snitch, they get in jail anyways, and even though you don't snitch, they still come after you per
yeah,
se.
because they're not gonna be like, oh, yo, you one of us, like you cool again now because you didn't rat on us. No, they still gonna try to kill him. Like, so like I see the self preservation part of it. I just don't agree with it. It's just like, yo, like
I
you,
don't agree. He's still trying to preserve. I see why you wanted to preserve yourself. I just don't agree that you preserved yourself. That's
I
it.
don't agree with your methods. It's like, all
Yeah, the
right, like
methods.
if you were just a regular civilian, you know, and you came out with that, it's like,
That's what The
okay,
Wire. I'm watching The Wire right now. Sorry, Carver. That's why it makes it so interesting. It puts that retrospect that there's there's a difference between somebody who participates in a legal activity, on the streets versus a civil, like a citizen, a law-abiding citizen, stuff like that. Like a drug dealer, there's a difference between a drug dealer and a citizen, and
yeah,
like even like they're both people, but it's just like if that if there's that shade of them, they're on different sides of society. Like it's like The Wire's giving me I'm watching right now. I might do a piece on that. It's giving me like this, like, huh. I mean, I get it. I just always see like, oh, this guy's just breaking a law. That guy's different. But it's like, nah. When you're on that path, it's just like you're on the other side of the law, which means like then there's certain, like you said, rules of engagement that you follow by when you're on that side. Um, but yeah, I think at this point we could just come to agree and say that I mean he did what he had to do. Do we agree with it? I don't.
he did what he
Mm,
felt like he had to do.
But at the end of the day, I will always say this: you have to, there's consequences in your actions. I think he didn't really assess enough what was the consequences starting out when he was making
Yeah,
music.
let this be a lesson to the greater of the world.
The rest of
Don't
y'all,
don't replicate this stuff.
facts.
I wouldn't be surprised if I'm not wishing anything on him, but I wouldn't be surprised if people were trying to come after him because of this.
Hope he didn't let his location out again.
Well, with that IG live, I think he was a bit nutty with that, and I think if if gangsters got with like hackers and stuff, I think that would be like even scarier. Because I mean, like there's like with the home,
AI put gangsters and AI together.
no, like with
AI king.
like with all the like home
Niggas
invasions
robbing
in
us.
Hollywood and stuff
I
like
ain't
that in
getting
like
robbed by a
California.
robot.
No, with all like the home invasions in like Cali, like Beverly Hills, Hollywood area.
Facts. Pop
That's
Smoke.
because like
That's
that's
an
what happens
example.
when hackers and like gangsters work together.
You're
That's
basically saying AI thugs, bro.
well,
That's
no,
it.
like rest in peace to Pop Smoke. Like
Real talk.
that's how they
It's
that's how they caught him.
Nah, no joke. It's not really laughing matter, but yeah, like you really definitely you got to pay attention to what you're doing, um, especially when you're in that type of you're at that you have that influence. And if you know you have enemies that are out for you and they're looking to get you, like you just never know that with success. There's probably people who don't feel like you deserve that success. Definitely, people, the haters, but some people are gonna hate to the point that they feel like they have to take your life to kind of feel justify how they feel. And that should be also always a thought in your mind, especially when you're getting to this type of lifestyle.
Yep. And I mean, one thing to note, vengeance begets vengeance. So like, I mean, that sounds like it could be. I mean, that sounds like Last of Us and stuff like that, but still, like, it's something you have to be mindful of. But anyways, let's just call